Joining me now, policy analyst and director of special projects for the Australia, Israel and Jewish Affairs Council, Dr. Bren Carlill. Dr. Carlill, welcome. I'm guessing the revelations this week didn't come as a surprise to you about what the Iranians have been up to.
No, it didn't. Iranians for many, many years have sent operatives from the IRGC to countries around the world to recruit local criminal, either individuals or networks, in order to carry out surveillance or intimidation or attacks or even drug trafficking. So what happened in Sydney and then in Melbourne really fits the modus operandi of Iran.
Why Australia? I mean, that they obviously could target much larger populations, more influential countries than us. Why do you think that they thought Australia might be a good place to do this?
Well, we're not a main player, but Iran is opportunistic. What we've seen over the past 5 or so years is they have dramatically increased the number of plots that they have undertaken in numerous countries. We've seen in Cyprus, in Turkey, US, Bulgaria, and now Australia. In just the last 5 years, these are uncovered plots where Iran has done exactly this. They've cultivated locals. The opportunity in Australia is that what we've seen is, since October 7, social cohesion in this country has been under great tension. We've seen the anti-Israel mobs every Sunday not only marching and intimidating any Jewish Australians or pro-Israel people in their vicinity, but they're constantly pushing the envelope. And unfortunately, what we've seen is that the police and the security forces in our country haven't really pushed back, which has encouraged that mob to constantly push the envelope. At the same time, we've seen our government since shortly after October 7 distance itself from Israel more and more and more. And so in this mix, Iran saw an opportunity. It saw that it could intimidate the local Jewish community and increase that tension to social cohesion. And it did so. So it didn't cause the tension. It, if you excuse my analogy, it poured petrol on a fire that was already raging.
So the modus operandi of using a non-Australian based but Australian citizen who's based, as we understand it, in Iraq, to then recruit minor criminals, presumably for not very much money, to incinerate the Adass synagogue and the cafe in Sydney. That doesn't surprise you that that's how they work.
No, look, Iran doesn't want to have its fingerprints on it. It doesn't want to get its hands dirty. And so in most...
So how would we find out about it? I mean, if the Iranians didn't want their fingerprints on it, who's made that connection?
Intelligence. Certainly I saw in the media that, I think I saw it on Sky News, that Israel has said that it provided ASIO with some key intelligence. ASIO put the rest together. I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. I know that a couple of years ago, Israeli intelligence did prevent a bomb plot on a plane leaving Australia. We all know of the incredible intelligent assets that Israel has and the asset that it provides to its friends. So it wouldn't surprise me if that was the case, but certainly ASIO would have done incredible work to uncover this.
So the government's response been tough enough. We've booted out the ambassador. It's the first time an ambassador's been thrown out of the country post-World War II. We saw a vision of him today leaving Canberra, and presumably he's on a plane out of the country. Is that strong enough response?
Certainly, I think putting the diplomatic relationship into the deep freeze is appropriate. Certainly, the move to prescribe the IRGC is entirely appropriate. It's a shame it didn't happen several years ago, but I'm glad it's happening. I do think, however, that the government can and should do more. I really think that the problem is that Australia and the West, they've always approached Iran tactically, and they haven't approached Iran strategically. They seem to view Iran as a normal dictatorship. And so when Iran does bad things like pursue nuclear weapons or oppress its people or conduct terrorism abroad, they'll negotiate with Iran or they'll issue harsh statements. They'll sanction a few individuals. But they don't look at Iran as a whole. Now, the Iranian regime is a toxic regime that is ideologically committed to undermining the sovereignty of countries in the Middle East and of interfering in countries around the world. And I really think that what we should be doing, what Australia and the West, working in concert, is doing everything it can to pressure Iran until the regime implodes under the weight of its own contradictions. Ronald Reagan basically did that in the 1980s, and that's how the West won the Cold War. I think we should be doing the same thing with Iran. They shouldn't win diplomatically. On the 8th of October, Iran is going to be voted in to be on the Advisory Council of the UN Human Rights Committee. right? It's appalling.
That's crazy.
That's a first step. We in the West should make sure that we don't vote for them, that they don't sail through. We should make sure that all those countries in the world that we can pressure, that we pressure them to vote against that. Iran shouldn't win anything diplomatically. Iran shouldn't win anything militarily. Iran has proxies all around the Middle East. We should make sure that those proxies never win.
Well, let's hope it's a wake-up call for us. Bren, thank you very much for coming in. Appreciate it.
Pleasure.